TGIF, everybody. Yes, indeed, Mary J. Harper. It is a happy Friday. Hello, Sinatra, James Wilson, everybody. Ryan, how are you doing?
Hey Dale,
Oh,
how are you,
hey,
mate?
buddy. Stellar week of actionable ideas by the whole team this week. So I have a couple questions for attendees here. Okay, so I know things are coming off a little bit here, but we do have a reversal week unless it completely falls apart in the euro. Actually, early in the week talked about the inside week prior, that we could have an outside week to the upside. And unless we just fall apart here, we take out this 101 level, next target 103.50, and then 109. That was talked about here. Anyone catch that? Okay, well, if you didn't catch that, do you recall that it said pound was not a short at 114? It wasn't. 200 pip move. One of a great call by K-Man in the yen for a top. It was good for 300 pips from 145. Also rode the long side up there. Yesterday, Blake talked about his short in Canada. That was a great call. We pointed out that the Dixie had put in a high up at the 1.272 level. It's trying to come back, but pretty big break in the dollar. Talked about gold not making a new low on that pullback that we had. We get through 1730, you have something real special happening there. And even though silver's giving some back, we talked about this falling wedge. And Stelios talked about his long at 1824. So anyone who used them as a contrarian indicator, go make your margin call. Talked about the potential of a reversal week in the gold silver ratio. I know it's bouncing, but on a weekly basis, you've got it. You've got the trigger with a down week that has peaked as well. And Ryan called the move to the upside in the USD won, and also even talked about the S&Ps holding this uptrend line before we got this big rally. So, my question to people that are here, did you catch any of those? Because there were multiple great ideas. I think this week was an inflection point, and what a great job. And now you know why I call it the dream team, because we could help you, possibly achieve your dream to become a trader. And for most people, it only stays a dream. So anyone else? You caught the silver line. Mary got the yen. Nice, Mary. Anyone on the dollar? Anyone else on the metals? Okay. So that's just what happens in F.A.C.E, okay, for half an hour before the interviews. Can you imagine all the opportunities that you're missing not being part of this community for the other 23 hours a day? Okay, God's power caught the pound. All right, so the best way to show your appreciation and do yourself a favor, because I lobbied for higher prices for what we provide, especially since we do provide this for free. You need to sign up now. If you had just one standard contract on for any of these ideas this week, it pays for a 1-year subscription. So it's good to not just try and get everything for free. There are universal laws that you reap what you sow. And reciprocation is an important universal law that if you're just trying to get over on everyone all the time, the same is going to happen to you. And Greg as well. Yeah, so it is a dream team. All right, Kareem. Kareem, are you a member? Do you subscribe? I know you retweet a lot of my stuff on Twitter. Are you? If you're not, you need to be. And okay, well, today's the day for you to sign up. Okay, because you're one of the people I'm talking about. So you're getting all these great ideas. Mary's a member. She appreciates it, and she's part of our community. And I'm sure she would attest to F.A.C.E is just the tip of the iceberg. So, if you're trying to get things for free forever, no one's going to pay you either. Keep it in mind. And Ryan, what a great week. You're a big part of it. You and K-Man have added jet fuel to our community. They say, don't chase anything, but all these multiple opportunities that I've just reviewed. I'm sure there are other things that happen inside the chat. What do you do now if you weren't on any of these things? And do you believe that they may be long lasting, or maybe just a little correction in the dollar, maybe just a little pop in the gold, and that things are going to reverse?
Yeah, and thank you for all the kind words for the team. Great effort inside the room. It's why I've always wanted to be part of a community and set my own one up before merging you guys.
You know what? They're not kind. They're just stating the facts.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, I'm not patronizing anybody. I'm just reviewing what happened in real time all week here in F.A.C.E.
Yeah, exactly. But regarding today's moves, I mean, the dollar yen is probably the case in point. A big run up, a big break at 140, hit a ceiling. So everyone, when you're trading 144s, 144 and a half, everyone wants to buy the dip. Well, we're down under 140. We've been down under 142. Everyone want to buy a dip now. That's the psychology of trading. But for me, when you get these big breaks, and 140 was a big break, you've got to let the levels define themselves. A lot of the tech is really down in the 140s, the intraday stuff. So for me, I'm watching now, see what happens. We've had this move down 140, and again, a lot of the community is pegging 140 as a big level to watch. There's going to be stops building through there from all those break traders taking it up. So if that goes, we could be 137, 135 maybe. But these are the times sometimes you just let the market do its thing. We've had this big sell-off. It's volatile. If we find support, low 141s, 140s, where's it going to settle in between? If we shoot back up to 144, this break is still valid, and it may continue through 145. If we bang our head,
this says it could. I mean, look, the momentum at the high makes me think, my theory is that markets rarely put in important tops, although there are exceptions with these kind of momentum readings. And, this would imply that there could be another high in US dollar yen.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we hold somewhere like 140, that may be in play. But from here, I'll be looking for maybe a 140, 143, 43 and a half range. Maybe a bit of consolidation, big moves, and sometimes we need to just take a breather now and again.
Okay. Euro giving some back, but even Lagarde couldn't screw it up this week.
She had to go. She tried to.
I mean, it was just I want to emphasize that it's a lesson. I think people will learn now that when you have inside weeks or inside days near where you're also is accompanied by some divergence, to be on the lookout for the potential of outside days and weeks and 4 hour, any TF. But inside days are great because they can set up outside movements. And we do have an outside week. You can't call it a key reversal because it's not closing over. Well, day's not over, but last week's high, and talked about it with K-Man early in the week, was par 79. We got above it, and if we close above it, this is right out of Edwards and McGee, Blake, key reversal at over 20-year lows.
I'll tell you what, and good morning, team. And hey, Dale, some really nice words from you this morning. And we've got a really good team, and hopefully keeping you guys and gals on the right side of the market. And that's the most important thing. Look, and I want to talk a little bit about the euro as we go into today, but I also want to say that as us, ForexAnalytix as being guides in the market, we can only, on the F.A.C.E show that's free, we can only help guide you so much. In the chat rooms, we're a lot more, well, actually we're very active, but more importantly, you can, you get the community of traders. It's not just us, it's so many different traders throughout the day that are talking, placing their trades in the trades room, dropping, news articles in the news and research room, talking macros in the Flownomics room. I mean, it's a culmination of a lot of different things. So hopefully, you guys get to a point, you guys and gals get to a point where you come join us in our community. But I do want to go
a simple analogy, Blake, and I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, go ahead.
But if you're going to college or you want to become a plumber, and you want to learn, you can't do it a half hour a day. Okay, you can't, it'll take you forever for a half hour a day. It's all about the time and the screen time and who you surround yourself with. Whoever graduated going to school 30 minutes a day.
It's an investment, Dale. It's an investment in your trading.
It is. It is. But let's talk. Let's go. I just want to make sure I mention all that because, I want everybody to know, like, if this is like just example of, I was just showing you guys the trades room. This is not just us, this is like the community. You can see everybody placing their trades in here, like what they're long, what they're short, why, and then you're in the general chat room and you understand the whys of what everybody's doing. So it's a really nice community, a place to be. That's, we don't talk politics and we don't talk, religion, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention, my heart goes out to all the people in the UK regarding the Queen. I said this in the chat room. I said this to our community yesterday during the daily roundup. Look, I'm an American, and I've looked at the Queen. Well, she's been a constant in my life, for the last 50 years, obviously. But I think what she represents to most of the world is, it's somebody you hold in the highest standard, kind of like the Pope for a lot of people. And I've always looked at the Queen and you may have your views on, the royal family and maybe even the Queen herself. But I would say for the majority of the world, she was just like this. And I called her like the beacon of light in a very crazy world. She's always that constant, that symbol of nobility and kind of like sets the standard and always set the standard of how people should be, in my view. And so it was a great loss for me as an American yesterday. And I'm sure for those of you in the UK, it was even a much bigger loss for the most part. So I just wanted to say, my condolences go out to all the people, that really have felt this loss. Anyway, I just needed to make sure I got that out. All right, going back to the euro though, and the euro, you'd pointed it out, Dale. Classic, basic technical analysis reversals here, and really classic reversal right into resistance. If you guys didn't know that key resistance was at the 101.10 level, I mean, it's huge. That was like the overnight stall where we stalled. I was asleep, obviously, but man, right there.
So if you're long, it could have been used for a target.
Yeah, exactly. If you were playing this squeeze and you're like, crap, because we identify the trends, but I trade counter trend all the time. I mean, I just note where the trends are at, so I don't get too aggressive. Because when you're trading counter trend, you don't want to be like, all in, if you will. But yeah, when this is stuff that we go through every day with the ForexAnalytix crew, I was just like, man, if I was around at that moment, I would have just shorted the euro at the 101 level, because that's where you should be shorting it. Now, the question will be from here, do we continue higher, and do we continue to find bids? Like I think we do. I think now from here on out, now the dollar is playing defensive. There's a lot of risk appetite things that are really moving the market right now, and I think you got to watch a few key developments. You got the S&P that's obviously recovered off the 618. You know, we talked about a move above 4010 or 4015, excuse me. You know, right here, this should take us right now back to 41 or 4090, you know, somewhere up in this neighborhood. So I think we're going to have a continued squeeze going into the North American session. You got to start watching these cryptos. We have Ethereum. We have the merge coming up over, you know, September 15th through 30th. I'm not sure exactly what date it was, like moving. It's like a moving target from what I understand, but people are buying it. And the pullback has been pretty minor, back to a 50% retracement. That suggests to me that Ethereum is probably going to trade back up to 2K. And that means Bitcoin's probably going to trade back up towards, you know, I would say 22,000 to maybe 25,000. I wouldn't give it much more than that. But, you know, moves like that are going to help, you know, keep risk appetite fairly well bid. So, you know, how does that translate into currencies? Well, you know, that's probably going to result as a continued weakness in the dollar index, and the dollar index has broken the breakout point, which came in at 109.30. So now any moves back to 109.30 should be sold. We're almost there. So if you are you know, long the dollar because you're like, oh well, I'm just buying this dip in the euro, or buying this dip in the, selling this rally in the euro, selling this rally in the sterling. You got to be a little careful here, because I think the dollar index is now at risk, is forging out a new or a more intermediate top. You know, I'm not a dollar doomsdayer here, but I do think that the dollar is going to be forming some sort of consolidation. But you know, the one other thing, and I'm going to pass it over to the rest of the team here. The other thing that we got to keep in mind is we're getting towards the tail end of this current monetary policy shift, not only in the Fed, but I think other central banks are catching up. You know, Stelios and Steve and Ryan, you know, at the beginning of 2022, you know, earlier this year, really talked about, you know, about divergence of central banks. And I think we're going to be getting to that situation where the Fed has identified where the terminal rate is, and it's very close now. You know, we're now starting to look at where the Fed's going to be capping rates, but you have the ECB that is just now starting to play catch up, and possibly the Bank of England as well. The only downside that I have right now to being long sterling, for all the reasons that I wrote in the chart of the day, which was in our free blog. If you guys don't know where the chart of the day is for the sterling here 2 days ago, the only argument that I have right now to being long the sterling is that Bill Gross is long the sterling, and so that worries the shit out of me. But other than that, oh, did I say that out loud? Yeah. That actually just spurted out. I'm sorry that I didn't mean to actually poo-poo on Bill Gross really quick. But anyway, those are just some thoughts that I have going into Friday. Be a little nimble here, because we've had some really massive moves overnight. But I want to say, you know, kudos to you know, K-Man and Ryan just really ripping up this yen over the last, you know, a few weeks, and great job to the team. You know, even Stelios, I'll even tip my hat to Stelios on
even
silver.
Me, man.
Just kidding,
good.
man. Just kidding. But anyway, just some thoughts. What are your thoughts going into Friday, guys? What are you thinking here?
Get K-Man in here.
Yeah, where's K-Man?
I'm here.
Oh, hey, what's up, K-Man? Good calls, man, this week in the yen.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a global dollar pullback. I think dollar yen now is going to be relatively important for the short term to stay below 143.15.25. For the rest, I've put this note in the chat room where I say like yen and then ping pong, and I think we are going to trade up and down for a while. There was this. Kuroda spoke again overnight, and that sent dollar yen a big figure lower initially, and then it had some extension in Europe as well. A lot of yen buying went up went on in our morning. But apart from him talking about what he qualifies as too speedy, which is 200 to 300 points, which we have been saying all along. I think the most important part of the whole thing is that he went to Prime Minister Kishida's office, and
Yeah,
that is something
like he actually walked his drunk ass over there.
That is something that is quite unusual for me, who have been trading yen for 25 years or more, and it's something that doesn't happen every day. So, and I think that spooked the markets. And here we are. Now, we're still 2 weeks away from the Bank of Japan. I really don't know what's going to happen going forward, but they really seem to be much more serious about the speed of things. So I'd say we are going to trade a bit more ranges for as long as the rest of the yields ex-Japan don't collapse.
All right. Well, you know, I mean, we're starting to see the first. I mean, let me ask you this, K-Man. Do you think this is the start of verbal intervention and where things start to accelerate from here? I mean, these comments about, you know, I mean, yeah, I think about these percentage moves, and you're an exporter or an importer in Japan. I mean, you know. I mean, it's gotta hurt.
That's exactly what he was talking about as well, and what
right. I mean, you think about trying to adjust a balance sheet for a multi-billion-dollar company every single day when you have. Okay, well, let's just. Yeah, I guess we can just do some quick calculations here. Let's just talk over the last 2 months. You know, when you have a 10% decline, 15% decline in your currency over the course of a couple months. I mean, hell, that's got to wreak havoc for Japan. So I'm going to ask you, I want to ask you, do you think it's going to get better or worse from here, or do you think it's going to get more aggressive, I guess is what I should say?
I think if we start to go again without any of the other markets following, let's assume for a minute that US yields stabilize here.
Yeah.
I think any move now back up to 145 is really going to call for action, or call it 145, 147, who will know, but is going to call for action. But what's very interesting, what I read this morning was, you know, the guys from Blue Bay Asset Management, they are not a small player, right?
Yeah.
And they were saying that they think we are getting closer to an inflection point on BOJ policy. And if people like that start to think that way, the bigger players, if they start to think that way, they are not just us, right? They are not retail traders. They know what's going on behind the scenes. They talk to those people as well. And I don't know, I'm starting to be a little nervous about the upcoming, perhaps not this one, but the next also Bank of Japan meeting. Why not? I mean, the levels are there. The yen is so weak that even though we can argue that they are completely stuck or trapped or whatever, they may start to say something just to correct the value of the yen a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know, here, I mean, this is just from 2000 this is the yen futures. I mean, this is a disgusting chart, but you got to think where like the reversal levels are here. Like here's where if you're, you know, playing full on, you know, short yen, which, you know, would be long dollar yen, you know, you think about a move back over where was that? That was, you know, going back to August 17th. So, you know, let's go back over to the dollar yen. August 17th would be somewhere around where is it at? Right about here. So 135, 136 level, that's the level where you start to see a real full-on reversal. But look, this is a big opportunity, even just to get back down to breakdown points in the yen itself. So if you see the yen strengthen from here, technically, you get a move like this, you theoretically you can say, oh, okay, I can get a move down to 136 and still be within the parameters of a breakdown point. So there's a long way to go if we continue to see dollar strength, or yen strength come through the market. Very interesting stuff. And I think it's a great point that you make about Kuroda walking his drunk butt over there to the PM's office. So thank you for that. Now, Ryan, I'm going to ask you, why did the Bank of England move their dates?
Meeting purely because of the Queen's period of mourning, funeral, etc. Parliament shut for 15 days. ONS data might be stopped as well. I did put a post out this morning. The funeral day will be a bank holiday, so markets will be shut here. But there's a bit of jigging and shifting around. The Bank of England cancelled or postponed some inflation survey data today. We're going to see a bit of that. But economic data from the ONS will be cancelled today, but will be as per schedule moving forward.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for that update. Hey, so how do you feel about the sterling at these levels? Like I said, I made my case a couple of days ago on why I think the sterling's, you should be getting long down here. This is on Wednesday night, I guess. Wednesday night is when I wrote this here. But how do you feel about the sterling? Whoops, I didn't mean to do that.
Same as everything else. Ranges. As I spoke about on the flow show, you've got to remember the volatility in cable is more than the euro. So if the euro's moving 20 pips, cable's moving 40 pips, that sort of thing. So you're going to get a bigger spring back.
Beta, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to get bigger moves, but it's all about the ranges. If cable's found a real bottom, fine. It needs to take out the top side areas. If it can't do that, if we can't get back to 117, 118s, there's no change to anything. Plenty of room to range and trade, obviously. So, I'm not saying
can I bring up a fundy? A fundy is what could be changing. And Sansi brought it up, and Adam Button, I talked to him yesterday, brought it up, that it's really a game changer that the UK government's going to take the hit on energy. Their citizenry is not. It's not going to be much higher than it was at that £2,500. What is that per year? That's a cap. And that's a game changer for the economy. It's, they may have a sovereign debt problem a year or so down the road, but as far as what's happening now, it could really save the consumer and save the economy.
Yeah, it's not going to stop bills going higher. It's not a cap on total bills. It's just a cap on what they call the standing rate charges. Those are some, our bills are split up. It's a bit complex, that sort of thing. I saw this as positive for the pound. Two reasons. One, they're looking at securing wholesale prices moving forward. That means they don't have to use fiscal policy and borrowing to chase the market higher. Give households money this month, give households money in 3 months, that sort of thing. Keep chasing it. They can secure prices for extended period. It's effectively, your risk, how much you're going to fork out. Means less borrowing. But on the other side, I don't think it's going to be a huge boom for the UK. It's still a plaster over a wound. Energy prices are still massively high. But as I've been saying for weeks and weeks, the UK has the ability to move this quickly versus other countries. That's what investors see. That's why investors might come back into sterling. We've got increase in licenses for North Sea drilling.
Hey, Ryan, can I hold off for just a second? We have Canadian employment coming in. Simon in the chat room was ringing my bell over here, and he was in the chat room just telling me that we do have data coming out. We do have this Canadian employment. So let's take a real quick look at it. Any expectations here as far as Canadian employment goes? And data flash comes with ForexAnalytix, just so you all know. We are expecting 15,000 jobs to be created. Unemployment rate is supposed to tick up just a hair, but it actually ticked up a little bit more. Canadian employment actually worse than expected. Canadian is getting hit. I'm short Canadian yen, so that's a good thing. I'm happy with that. Thank you very much. And
Great
we are
explanation, Ryan.
well, we're
Yeah, no
going to
worries.
continue. We're going to continue this because you don't have a guest today, do
No.
you, Dale?
No guests.
Okay, good.
You
Okay.
guys are my guests.
Okay, great. We'll continue to stick around with it. By the way, I'm short some Canadian yen, and I just closed that. I was thinking about it. Anyway, I've been riding this one short, showing a bit of a reversal up here. But
You had
I'm
a
gonna
good
stick
year
around
this
with that
week, didn't you, Blake?
I had a good year this week. Yeah, I made a lot of my year this week. Yeah, it's not a common occurrence when you get this type of volatility. But where else would you want to be than in, like the, I mean, you got the ForexAnalytix chat room where everybody's just kind of talking about, what they're doing and what they're trading. I mean, when you got this kind of volatility, you want to be in a community like this. That's for sure.
We've been waiting years for it. It's finally here.
Yeah, we had 3 years of a lull, like literally with volatility at zero.
Yeah.
I mean, when you was the euro vol was like at 5, which is just
less.
I mean, multi like 3-decade lows, which is just crazy. But now, not so much. All right. So going back to what you were saying, Ryan, let's continue on with your sterling conversation and energy costs. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so just to finish off, I don't need to waffle on too long about it. Yes, it is positive from an investment standpoint in the fact that the UK has moved pretty fast. You compare to Europe, they couldn't even agree on a price cap today. They had some dissent at their meeting. It's going to be 5 years before they decide what they want to do. And investors like to know what a country's doing, and we've moved fast. We've got these licenses ongoing. As I say, I don't think it's going to be a boom for the economy because we're still paying a lot for energy. But if you're an investor and you think who can sort their shit out the quickest, we fall into that bracket, and that's and you see some flows into the pound.
Do we trust and trust? Do we trust and trust?
Do you know how many times I've heard that this week?
That's so sad. Well, look, I mean, anybody who's king of dad jokes, which would be Dale. I'm surprised Dale hasn't whipped that one out.
I think you've taken over.
Come on. That's
that one,
that's straight up rude. Now you're being rude. I'm just kidding. All right, but really, I mean, you make some really valid points there. How about you, Stelios? You want to jump in this conversation?
I guess not.
I guess he doesn't. Oh, he's rattling off. He doesn't even know he's on mute. Either that or he's trying to calm down his kids right at this moment. He's here. He's just not here. All right. Well, I think there's some.
Hey, sorry. Were you calling out to me? My internet just went down for like a minute.
Yeah, we were. I was asking if you wanted to add to this conversation about the UK, but I guess you don't.
No, I don't have any major to add. I still have the opinion that I'm not ready to be bullish the pound yet, but there are signs that are showing that the time is coming close. And remember, I've been saying for weeks and weeks now, I find nothing to be bullish about the pound. Slowly I'm starting to reconsider, but I don't think I'm going to be bullish just yet. I think the markets are trying to find a top in the dollar. So if you're trading cable, you're really trading the dollar, in my opinion, at the moment. Market's trying to find the top, trying to figure out when the Fed's going to stop. I'm not 100% convinced yet, but I do like the price action. I'm long silver and I like it. Also, one other thing I wanted to mention and remind people, remember on I think it was the 24th of August when I said that when I talked about the uranium ETF, URA, and it was up like 4% on the pre-market. And I said, I don't care where it's going to open up. I'm buying, and I bought at, I think it was 21.20. It was something like 5%.
Yeah, is this gap up right here?
Yes, it was that day, and I bought, I think 21.20. I have to go back and see, and it's just gone straight up since then. And
it didn't go straight up; it went up and down and up.
Well,
and down.
Yeah.
All right, it's your Uranus back at you.
Exactly. But I still think this is a good trade. Obviously, quite correlated with risk assets in general. But there were days when stocks were down 1% and this ETF was up. And this is really a theme trade where nuclear takes over or increases a lot in terms of energy supply. And you're hearing, and we're seeing so many countries increasing their spending on nuclear reactors and all that. I still think this is going to be a really good trade going forward. And I think the stigma associated with the nuclear is kind of slowly going away.
It is. We need it, right?
It looks
need
good.
it.
I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate right now, but we do.
It's going over 32, bro.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that would be nice.
Anyway, yeah.
All right.
It
Well,
looks
hey,
good. Good week.
I want to shift gears really quick, just because we talk about like risk appetite and improving a little bit. You know what else I'm watching? I'm watching, and I know K-Man already stepped off. Oh no, he's still here. Okay, I thought he stepped off for a minute. I don't know if he's still here, but
for what? For a medical?
No. For like I'm watching the CNH. The US dollar CNH, and when it bounced, and I think it led the dollar bounce actually across the board when it happened this morning. North America stepped in. You saw that the dollar CNH really catch a bid, and everything else just kind of reversed there too. I'm going to watch this one really carefully. And I'm going to ask you guys this opinion.
Ryan had a short from 7.
What's that?
Ryan had a short from 7 up there.
Still got it.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, tell me, okay, Ryan, tell me what the fudgesicles is China doing still in COVID lockdown policies. I actually was talking to this one of the soccer parents. She was an English teacher in Beijing for 6 years, and there's teachers, actually her friends, that are stuck there right now because of the COVID policy. I mean, what the? I didn't even know COVID was still a thing. Although I do live in an area that never really paid attention to it anyway. But I mean, when are these lockdowns going to stop? And when that happens, I mean, when doesn't that just unlock a whole swath of risk on?
Yes and no. When does it stop? It stops when China says it stops.
I guess, right. Yeah.
And if that's forever, I mean, I've been reading some bits and pieces this week where they're not even really going hard on the vaccinations. It's zero COVID or nothing.
Yeah.
People who would expect to get jabs, they're not. But regarding the price move, it's all right to say it in hindsight, but sometimes you need price discovery to know what's going on, because this has followed the rest of the dollar in pairs in falling. It shows that maybe a lot of that move up was dollar rather than one weakening. We know the PPOC had been keeping a leash on it. We've been following that for the last week or so on the Flow Show. Does it mean they're out the woods? No.
Wait a second. I just want to make sure that everybody sees that you've been shorting the US dollar CNH since September 9th. And it's here in the chat room, just so everybody can see how active you and K-Man have been shorting the US dollar CNH since right here at these levels. Well done, gents. Good job.
Yeah.
Wait. Today is the 9th. I got to go back to the September 6th. Here we go.
6.9920.
Yeah.
Therefore, my point that F.A.C.E is a half an hour.
Huh?
Yeah, K rode it all the way up from the 680s. Great trade from that. And he's looking to buy dips, I believe, as well. So we've both got different opposing trades, and we can both make money out of it. That's the beauty of trading.
That is awesome, guys. All right. Well, this is one I'm going to be watching really carefully. We breached this black trend line here, and that would be the lows of today. And I'm not saying that's going to happen today. It is Friday. I'm not sure. Oh gosh, are you guys watching this Ethereum breaking out? This thing's going to trade up to
exploding.
This thing's going to trade up to 2,000. Going into this merge week, this next week, and I converted my crypto account, which isn't a big account. I don't really even talk about it much in the chat room, other than I just moved from dollars to Ethereum earlier this week when it was down at 1,500. I just moved it all into Ethereum. But like I said, it's not a huge account. It's just, kind of something I do from time to time, but I moved it all into Ethereum for the merge. I told the chat room that earlier this week, I think yesterday or 3 days ago. And then one of our traders who in our community that trades more crypto products, was trying to tell me to trade it. And I'm like, nah, I just kind of shift money in there. So I think we're going to be moving right back to 2000. So you got to take advantage of that on these big events that are happening. So anyway, Dale, I know we're bleeding a little bit late. I just want to say that, guys and gals, it's been a really great week. Hopefully you've been able to capitalize on it just watching these free F.A.C.E webinars. But you want to know a good way to join us is try out the trader funding program. We have had a few traders go into live accounts accessing our money. We were just having a conversation 2 days ago with our business partners that we do, all of the funding and technology with. And we have a pretty large pool of people trading our, like the notional value of what we have, capital that we have trading right now, of our traders trading our money is pretty large. I didn't expect it to be where it's at by this time, but it is. So if you want to learn how to trade our money, just, and you take 75% of the profits and none of the risk, just watch the video down below. But when you do the trader funding program, we don't just kind of leave you out in the, like in the ether. You join our community because we want you to be successful, trading our money. So, and you can, have an opportunity to make a lot more money. So anyway, check out the trader funding program when you can, and that's a good way to get inside of our community. Dale, and rest of the team, any last minute thoughts as we go into the weekend?
Don't just count your pips, count your blessings.
Oh, okay.
Ever heard that before?
Thanks. That's Dale's famous tagline, which is a good one. Ryan, how about you? Any final thoughts going into the weekend, buddy?
Go ahead, Brian. Repeat.
No, I've got to try and beat Dale with a good quick there.
How about a market thought? Any market thoughts going into the final?
Yeah, don't get too caught up in these moves today. It's a bit of a wash around from the ECB and everything yesterday. Watch your levels. That's the best advice I can give, really. And we come back again on Monday and see where things sit.
All right, sounds good. How about you, Stel?
I don't have anything else to add. Just
gosh, Stelios, you're killing me, man.
Get some rest, everybody. It's going to be another long week.
It is. How about you, K-Man? Any words of wisdom regarding anything? The yen? Anything?
Yeah, sure. I mean, cycling is good for your health. Over trading, much less.
Great one. See, Dale, you almost get beat with that one.
K-Man's very creative. I hand it to him. He's he's competitive.
Learning from the best, Dale. Learning from the best.
And I just want to say, everybody, remember, it is Friday. I'm going to go with some of Dale's sayings here. Don't try to make your whole week on a Friday. It's been a lot of volatility. If you made some good money, keep it tight. Don't let your, with the volatility as high as it is, don't let things get away from you. Manage your risk, keep your stops tight. Don't let things get away from you on a day like today. Fridays are like, a lot of times they're drift trend days because people just, everything start. Yeah, everybody's squaring up positions. No one wants to be establishing new positions. So try not to get caught up in some FOMO or fear of missing out. So
don't be a dick for a tick.
What's that?
And don't be a dick for a tick.
Don't be a dick for a tick or a pip. Very good. All right. Thanks, Ryan, throwing in that one. I want to wish everybody a great weekend. And I know it was a shortened week for most of us. And for those of you in the UK, my condolences go out to you sincerely. I actually want to go rewatch the Crown series on Netflix. That's one of my favorite series, actually. What's that?
Such an American thing to do.
It is, you know, hey, what can I say? And, you know, it's like, but look, you know, like I said earlier, as an American, I mean, I feel it. So I know if I do, that means you guys do too. So, anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. Dale, I'm going to pass it to you.
All right. Thanks, team. Thank you very much for all the great input for our community this weekend. One thing, guys and gals, after windfall profits, if you had them this week, there's a tendency of hubris and getting sloppy. I know because I've done it. And then you rationalize it and you go, oh, well, it's the house's money. Wrong. It's your principal now. Protect it like it was your first 5-10 grand in your account. And with that being said, guys, have a great weekend. Appreciate everyone's support, and invest in yourself, and become part of the best community on the net. And with that being said, enjoy, and I'll see everyone, God willing. The team will be here to do it again next week. Enjoy your weekend. Adios, everyone. See you, Samuel, Ingmar, Paul, Michael, Richard, everyone.
Thanks, Dale.